Hey guys, welcome back to our Corner One, where we are inspiring social impact leaders one day at a time. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to select the right board members for your nonprofit organization. Selecting the right board members for your nonprofit organization is effective to your nonprofit's operations, elements of fundraising and budget functions, operations as far as how the staff is being developed and poured into, and most importantly, the impact that your programs have on the target populations that you're serving. In addition to having board members can also bring a level of expertise that is unique to the industry that they're in. They can also leverage some of their networks in bringing fundraising and potential donors to your nonprofit organization. And donors can also provide a level of expertise that you as an executive director or some form of a leader in a nonprofit may not be familiar with. So in today's video, we're just going to go through a few things that you guys should consider as you are in whatever stage of looking for a member for your board, or you are founding your organization and now you are at the stage where you are ready to assemble board members for your nonprofit organization. So let's get started. It's important to know that every nonprofit should have at least 3 active members on their board to maintain 501c3 status. This is by law through the IRS. And the board of directors essentially operate in 3 major areas: governance, accountability, and transparency. So governance refers to how a nonprofit is controlled, directed, and operated by the board of directors that are serving this specific nonprofit. So a key element to the board of directors when it comes to governance is ensuring that the executive director is leading the organization in a manner that is achieving the impact through the programming and the staffing and volunteers and various aspects of the organization. The board of directors hold the executive director and other forms of leadership within the nonprofit accountable, thinking about the vision, the mission, the values, and where the nonprofit is headed, and ensuring that the executive director and its staff are maintaining a level of integrity as they are serving whatever community or target population at hand. Accountability requires nonprofit leadership to be held accountable in all aspects of their operations. Most people think about the finances when it comes to accountability, but the board of directors should also ensure that the executive director is being held accountable in various aspects of leadership, of strategic planning and risk management and things of that sort. The board of directors typically help the executive director or whoever is in charge at the nonprofit ensure that there are clear systems and structures to maintaining transparency and accountability when it comes to finances, when it comes to program evaluation, employee satisfactions, and different things like that. A key thing here to know is that effective communication is very important across all boards, on the board of directors side as well as the executive director. And then we have transparency. And transparency can be looked at as a sister to accountability, but transparency focuses on more so the accessibility of the information that stakeholders require of nonprofits. So you can think about financial statements, you can think about numbers when it comes to how a nonprofit has made impact. When a nonprofit has grants, typically the grant makers require a level of reporting back to the organization. So what is it that you've done with the money that we have provided you? Board of directors can also communicate the organizational health when it comes to a nonprofit seeking for funding. So you could imagine a fundraising event or a gala of some sort where the board of directors are coming in to just kind of leverage and show what the nonprofit is doing and why the dollars matter as far as going to that nonprofit organization. And the biggest thing that I want you guys to remember is that board of directors are volunteer positions. So these positions are not paid. And so when you are developing how you want your board to be structured, the type of leaders you would like to see, it's important that you, as the executive director, and the staff members that may be supporting you on this selection process are clear about what it is that you want to think about. There are some nonprofit organizations that have a bylaw system, which is just a set of documents that have policies in them that the board of directors are to be governed by, so that they are also held accountable to some degree as far as how they serve in their role. So now that we've talked about the key functions to having a board of directors for your nonprofit, from the element of governance, accountability, and transparency, let's talk about some things you can consider as you are recruiting different leaders throughout your community to serve on your board. So the first question that I want you guys to think about is this individual passionate about the organization's vision and mission? There are many nonprofits that have leaders that don't necessarily have a background related to the nonprofit's vision and mission. However, the leaders are very passionate about serving children, serving animals, working in the arts, working with different school systems and things of that nature. You can also think about what type of resources does this individual have that can help our organization. So for example, if you have a potential candidate that wants to serve on your board and this individual works in banking, well, one of the things that I think about immediately is this person will have some area of expertise, I would assume, in accounting, financial management, and essentially serving as a CFO and getting expertise on how to bring in sources of funding for your nonprofit organization. The third point that I want you guys to think about is what way do you want to structure your board? Meaning, how many individuals do you want to bring in that are related to what your organization is doing? And how many individuals are you okay with that are not related to what your organization is doing? It's key to ensure that your organization is made up of a diverse group, but not necessarily too diverse where it's unhealthy and there's just a lot of friction between the leaders. And so have fun and get creative with the type of leaders you would like to see based on your organization's strengths and their weaknesses and areas of opportunity, so that you are selecting the right board members for your organization. And then the final thing, which is very much more practical, does this leader have enough time to serve on your organization's board? There are a lot of inactive, unfortunately, board members that overcommit themselves sometimes, and they start out with great intentions but end up not really being able to effectively serve in the way that they should. And based on what we talk about in the areas of governance, transparency, and accountability, there's a lot of weight that goes into serving as a board member on a board for a nonprofit. And so you want to make sure that this person knows what they're getting themselves into, hence those bylaws for the board of directors, and making sure that they know, hey, you need to have this X amount of time when it comes to serving with us, because we want to make sure that we are getting as much expertise, understanding, accountability, and all the things when it comes to serving on the board. And so you want to make sure, as the executive director or whatever form of leadership position you're serving in for your nonprofit, that you are maximizing their time effectively. This can be very practical in how you're communicating with them, making sure that they're meeting minutes, making sure that there's a set date and time, maybe bi-weekly or monthly or quarterly, where you and your cabinet are meeting to talk about specific things when it comes to the health of the organization. Remember that it's important to ensure that you have a diversified cabinet of board members so that they can all, leverage in their strengths and their areas of limitations and industry knowledge, so that you can get a holistic picture as an executive director that can guide you as you are guiding the organization itself. And one last thing that I do want to point out, make sure that there is an open line of communication. I hit it at this earlier in the video, but I want to hit at it again because you want to make sure that when there are times of economic downturn, there are times where the budget is tight and you as the executive director are spent and you're trying to figure out what to do, make sure that you set the tone and your board directors have the tone and understanding that we have a mutual relationship that is trying to benefit the overall goal of this organization. And so when you have a level of open communication that is respectful, make sure that your board of directors have a level of empathy and sympathy for you as a leader, as well as your organization and the different organizational needs. And I believe that these tips will be helpful for you guys as you are selecting your board members. This isn't an exhaustive list per se, but these are some fundamental things that I have seen nonprofit leaders skip over when it comes to selecting the right board members to serve their nonprofit. So I hope and pray that this video was helpful for you guys. I do want to let you guys know I have these videos on my YouTube channel and in podcast format. I have them currently on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. So if you want to listen while you're in your car, while you're working out, or you want to engage with me face to face, you can do that via Spotify as well as YouTube. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching my videos. I will be uploading highlighted points on my TikTok as well, so I will have everything linked across all platforms. But please like, please share, please give any feedback, share any things that you want me to talk about. And until next time, try to make the world a better place today.